Hello everyone and welcome to today's class. Today I'm going to be talking about two skills. The first one is the listening skill and the second one the writing skill. So let's begin with the listening skill. Listening skills and writing skills. Listening is the most frequently used skill. We use this skill in our everyday life for everyday situations all the time. This is one of the most difficult skills to develop for students because they are sometimes confused by the speed of the people talking to them, depending on the level, of course, and also because of the different accents. So it's very important to expose our students to different types of accents. So we have some topics. Before the listening, we have to introduce the topic. This is important because this way the students know what kind of information they will be receiving in the text and they will be less confused. During the listening, we have to be specific about what kind of information the students have to look for. This is important because they will be more focused and they will have to concentrate more about specific information. Sometimes it's good to play the audio one first time to give the students an opportunity to listen and comprehend the whole thing, and then have them listen for specific information. After listening, we should do an activity to extend the listening that we had. So we could have, for example, paragraph writing, we could have them answer some questions, we could also have them draw a picture. Depending if it's kids, they could draw a picture about what they heard or about something specific that we will ask them to look for in the listening. So, what do we have to keep in mind for listening exercises? It's very important to keep in mind the noise level. It is very difficult for students to focus when there is background noise, music, maybe construction going on near the place. So it's very important to keep the noise as low as possible. Also, we have to check our technological resources. So if we're using a CD, we have to make sure it works properly, or if we're using a computer and we need the internet, we need to make sure that it's working properly so we don't have any delays during our activity. And finally, we'll talk about repetition. It is very important to repeat the audio several times for students to be able to get a bigger comprehension. Like I mentioned before, sometimes it's good to have them listen the first time and then just generally, and then the second time ask them to take down some notes about specific information. Now I'm going to talk about the writing skill. In writing, the message is more important than the presentation of the message. So in this skill, mistakes are allowed. This is one of the most difficult skills for students because usually they don't write in a foreign language. So mistakes will be made by them, and this is very normal. We have two types of writing. We could have free writing, which means students write um, a paragraph about a topic that they choose, and the teacher does not set some specific standards for the topic. And we also have revised writing. This is a more complex type of writing where the teacher gives specific instructions about what the outcome of the activity must be. For this type of writing, students do a first draft and then they hand it in to the teacher for the teacher to revise it. The teacher makes some corrections and then gives it back to the student. And finally, the student has to copy again the activity, taking into account the teacher's corrections. When we talk about writing, we have to be very careful when we're correcting students. So we never must use, for example, red pen. We never use sad faces or stuff like that. We always try to make positive comments. So like I was mentioning, it is very important to always make positive comments. We have to choose what to correct and what just to ignore. Sometimes the main idea is what's important to the teacher. So if they make spelling mistakes or they don't know how to use the different signs and stuff like that, it might not be as important as the main idea that the teacher is looking for. So we have some types of tasks that students can work on. We have, for example, summarizing, we have letters, we have lists, we have fill in the blanks activities, and copying word for word. The teacher will choose these activities according to the needs of that specific class. Thank you very much.